Hey guys, what is up? This is Event Horizon. I just wanted to talk about some Diablo 3. I've been playing this game pretty much religiously since it came out, and I love it. Like I've said in the past, I'm a big fan of Diablo 2 and its expansion, but this game is definitely not Diablo 2. There's a lot of big differences, and I'll go into those. But first thing I wanted to talk about is I think they did a really good job of the graphics. I think this game is gorgeous, and definitely puts Diablo 2 to shame. What they did with Diablo and how they made him look is just awesome. I mean, he looks badass and definitely looks like somebody you don't want to mess with. The biggest thing about Diablo 2 versus Diablo 3 is the Barbarian is definitely not what he used to be. Barbarians by nature are very gear dependent, and that's really based on, I guess what you would say is because they're a tank. They're a melee class, so they're used to taking a lot of damage and being a little bit slower than the other classes, unless you've got like Rage of the Berserker on or something like that. But they're meant to take a lot of damage and deal out damage over time. They're better for a war of attrition than they are for kiting, like you would say a demon hunter or a wizard would do. Now you can kite with the Barbarian, but it requires a totally different setup than what I've got, and honestly, I really don't want to run around with sprint while I'm farting tornadoes out my ass. It's just boring gameplay, and I think it's retarded. When I think of a Barbarian, I think of this huge monstrous dude that you just run in and just start fucking wailing on people like I'm doing right now. I mean, that's just what I think a Barbarian is, and whether that's how other people think or not, I don't really give a shit, but that's our Barbarian to me. So the Barbarian is not, you're not going to go and just pretty much get Whirlwind and whip ass. Whirlwind in this, in my opinion, sucks. I don't use it, and I'll go over what I do use, and you can see that Diablo can't touch me in this. I mean, there's nothing he can do that's going to kill me. He almost gets me down. He gets me in the red a little bit later, but that's after we get out of the Shadow Realm, and I'll go over that too. But Demon Hunter, I think, is definitely the best ranged class right now. Wizard's pretty awesome. I've got somebody that we co-op together, and he plays the Wizard, and I play the Barbarian, and it works out well. We do pretty well, except for when we hit Inferno. Inferno is a whole different level, and guys, believe me, it's ridiculous. Right now, I'm just stomping on Diablo in hell. My character was way overpowered for this, and this is the same exact setup I used to beat him when I actually got there. And most of that is because I bought stuff from the auction house. Auction house is the way to be. You can definitely spend some time farming and getting stuff, but in all honesty, right now with the way the auction house is set up versus how their drops are, which they're improving in a future patch, but the way they've got it set up now, your best bet is definitely auction house. So, farming gold is the main thing that I go for right now. We do siege breaker runs, and basically what siege breaker runs is you run around, you hunt some champion packs at level 60 on Hell or Inferno, depending upon whatever, and you get 5 Nephilim Valor stacks. And what Nephilim Valor is an increased chance of the boss dropping rares or higher end, merchandise. And in order to do that, like I said, you've got to hunt the packs, and it's definitely easy to do when you're pretty much overpowered like I am in here. But every Nephilim Valor lasts for a half hour, so for each champion that you kill, you have a half hour to find another one to kill and stack it. So, last night when we were doing that, I had 89% magic find on the Barbarian. It's only at like 19 now because this is my default setup, but at 89% and with 5 stacks of Nephilim Valor every time. And I really mean it. Every time I'll be dropping 3 yellows and 5 or 6 blues. See, he almost killed me right there. And don't be afraid to drop pots, dude. You know, the way they've got potions set up on this game is that you cannot spam them. Because really that's what Diablo 2 is all about, you know, is who can outlast the other the most by spamming pots. You know, in PvP that's not going to be possible. As you can see, I've pretty much whipped his ass and raped face, and he never really come close to touching me. And the biggest reason for that is that I set this class up the way it is for survivability. That means that I want to keep my life high. And even when he was doing that stupid electric bullshit, you can see that he really didn't do too much damage to me, because life on hit is a big deal. In hell especially, you're going to want that. And I'll go over my inventory and stuff right now. These are just my stats. You can see for yourself that I get 6,200 life just from picking up a globe. Right now I'm at 20k, so you know, that's what, almost, that's over 33 or 30% of life that I'm getting when I pick up, you know, that. And then, you know, I just threw War Cry on just so you can see how much damage reduction jumps up. But this is not like the best build, but we'll go over this. See, my weapons, each one has add life plus 250 plus 339. So every time that I hit them, and with the Barbarian using Frenzy, you're going to hit them a lot. And, you know, I love sockets. Everything I've got socketed. But it's all about vitality with the Barbarian. So vitality and resist all. If you look at that, my resistance to all elements, I've got stuff all over the place. Any piece of armor that I could find that was at least on par with what I had, but had resist all, you know, is definitely something to look into. And that's why you see, while I was fighting him, I was pretty much just absorbing every bit of damage that he threw at me, because he couldn't touch me because my resistance were so high. For my skills, Frenzy and Sidearm, that axe just randomly comes out pretty often. Rage of the Berserker with Insanity. You increase your damage, increased by 100%. And I'll show you how much of a difference that is in a minute here. War Cry, increase your armor bonus to 40%. It's really, really useful, and it applies to whoever you're co-oping with. Ground Stomp with Avenging Smash, Revenge with Provocation. I forgot to add the rune to Ignore Pain, but I usually always use Iron Hide if I'm going to do runs, because that allows you to just get in there, and you know, it lasts for 7 seconds and it reduces all your damage by 65%. So Nerves of Steel, increase your armor by 100% of your vitality. 20,000 vitality, it tends to help. Increase your armor by 25%. Your thorn and damage increases by 50% on Tough as Nails. And Superstition reduces all non-physical damage by 20%. And you get 3% or 3 Fury every time that you take a hit. So I activated War Cry again, and Ignore Pain, just so you can see the differences. And then if you look at my resistances, like I said, that's really the big thing, is your resistances. All mine are almost bumping 3, and he couldn't touch me. I tried to leave, and fucking bone fence was in my way. Couldn't get past it. So gotta go up here and talk to Ariel so I can switch to I'll switch to a different quest real quick, just to show you what damage is when Rage of Berserker is active. So we'll go through the ending screens real quick. If you don't know, you can just hit escape and get the hell out of all that stuff, because the credits are like 5 minutes long. The first time I played, I just kind of watched it and go over it and just let it do its thing. So as you can see, I started doing some Inferno stuff, but I've mostly been doing other runs, because like I said, Inferno is a whole nother ballgame, guys. You can whip the shit out of Diablo in Hell and get one shot at Inferno. That's just how it is. Like I said, I went in a little bit overpowered, so I haven't ran into that yet, but it definitely does happen. So, just going to switch over here real quick, get some Fury built up, and then pop Rage of the Berserker so you can see how much damage jumps up. But again, the biggest thing about playing the Barbarian is survivability. When you're dual wielding, Frenzy is, I think, extremely important just because of what it is. Well, anyways, watch. My damage right now is 7,327, and I'm going to pop Rage of the Berserker here in a second, and it jumps up to 20,862. So, that's just ridiculous. It really is. Damn ridiculous. But, yeah, like I said, if you look, my resistances are, you know, like I said, they're all high as hell. And, I think that, I'm going to wrap this up. Like I said, for Barbarian, it should be Vitality. Life on hit is your biggest fan up until you hit the Inferno. But if you could just like, favorite, share, subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. You guys are wonderful, and you have a good day.